Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I want to take a moment to talk about just the idea that only those XRP community members that are hodlers will ultimately profit. I'd say that's highly likely. That's my opinion, not financial advice, to be clear. No financial background here. I'm going to share with you, so what got me thinking along these lines, this article on the screen here from AMB Crypto. Binance Research advocates hodling as it analyzes Bitcoin's annualized return. And of course, with this being an XRP-centric channel, I'm looking at it through the lens of an XRP community member and what that actually means for us. And that's what I want to share with you, including, I actually pulled up a couple charts, and you're going to find this fascinating. I got a chart showing the lifetime span of XRP price action. And of course, the biggest spike on that chart, not surprising, is when it hit its all-time high, and it's very visible in January of 2018. But I also zoomed into a prior massive XRP rally that happened prior to that. And if you zoom in on it, just wait till I show you what it looks like. It looks massive. And then when you zoom out, it just looks like a blip. I can't wait to share it with you. So anyway, I'll show that. And then I got a couple of tweets from XRP community members, including David Schwartz, who is Ripple's CTO and co-creator of the XRP Ledger. And I'm going to wrap up with an unrelated article that I just found interesting. Tom Lee. Like FANG stocks, Bitcoin will hit $25,000 due to network value. Yes, it all depends on what you think network value is. But anyway, before we get going any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button. And if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, and maybe even XRP hodling, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. It might be something that you don't regret, but no promises. So let's jump in here. The research team at Malta-based cryptocurrency exchange Binance recently released a chart regarding the impact of the best performing days of the annualized daily average returns for Bitcoin. Most of Bitcoin's upside occurs on very few days. Missing out can be very painful. When in doubt, hodl. According to Binance Research, investors not holding Bitcoin on December 7th of 2017 missed out on its largest daily absolute gain of $3,608, or a 25% increase in value. The chart showed that excluding just the top 10 best performing days for Bitcoin, returns since 2013 drops profit by more than 150%. And so here we go. And by the way, this is conceptually true whether you're talking about investing in cryptocurrencies in this particular asset class or even the stock market. If you don't have exposure during these rallies, which only tend to happen on select days, most of it not so much, you're making a bad move. And that's why, from my perspective, hey, God bless those traders out there that are actually good at what they're doing, because I don't even want to try it. Like 95% of traders ultimately lose money. To me, it makes no damn sense. It's more like if you believe that an asset's going to be here for the long haul, invest. And that's why for me, it's simply just investing over the long haul in something like index funds, even though I think there's a bubble right now. Even just index funds makes a bunch of sense. But for fun, investing in XRP for me, because I think that if you're like me, you think you found something also that most of the world doesn't know about. And I think that there's a chance for some seriously asymmetrical returns here. And so I am happy to invest, and I am Mr. XRP Bull here. But that's why I keep saying it makes all the sense in the world if you have that belief system. If you believe that utility management will win the day, and you think that you see the adoption coming, and you think the rest of the world's going to get it, if that's what you believe, which is what I believe, it would be, to me, it's a scary prospect to not have exposure at any point, or to try and FOMO in or panic sell or stuff like that. Anyway, so the returns earned after excluding the best 50 days dropped down to 1% of the returns that would have been earned had the investor held Bitcoin over the period. Users on Twitter responded to the team at Binance with mixed opinions, however, with one user pointing out that investors who didn't sell on January 6th, 2018, missed out on shorting Bitcoin's largest monthly drop of 65%. And so that's true, but again, like I said, you don't know when this stuff's going to happen, and this is all true for XRP too. That's the reason I wanted to point this out. I like this. Another user spoke of how these fluctuations showed why stablecoins are needed for the future of blockchain finance. Yeah, I don't agree with that either. Stablecoins, look, they may be able to serve their purpose, but if you have a problem with volatility, let me just tell you this. almost 100% of the volatility in the future, I don't know when, I'm not going to put a timestamp on it, but almost 100% of the volatility is going to go away because the frenzy at some point will die down around this technology, which is the same thing that happened to internet stocks around the 2000s, right? The late 90s, early 2000s, whatever the timeline was. Anyway, around the same time, the blockchain market intelligence provider Glassnode published a report titled Dissecting Bitcoin's Unrealized On-Chain Profit/Loss, which looked into how much of Bitcoin's circulating supply is in profit or loss at any given point in time, and to what extent. And it said, quote, if all Bitcoins were sold today, how much would investors stand to gain or lose? Right? The report used Bitcoin's underlying UTXO structure to compare the value of Bitcoin at two different points in time, current price and realized price, the price at the time a UTXO is created. Right? The report also noted that the relative number of UTXOs in profit approaches 100% whenever a previous all-time high is broken. And there's a quote, it becomes nearly impossible to be in losses once a new all-time high is surpassed. Now, I think that quote, you can apply that to probably any cryptocurrency in 2017 during the run-up, right? It's crazy. But it's to me undeniable that every altcoin in the market is still tethered to the price action of Bitcoin by and large, not down to the second, minute, day, hour, week, whatever you want to say, whatever time frame you want to look at, but it still is. And so given you can see that this is true for Bitcoin. This is absolutely true for Bitcoin, what I'm saying. It's true for all the other coins as well. But even once not tethered, I still conceptually think that it just makes sense to not do some of what I'm about to show you. Take a look at this. This is a CNBC article. It's titled 3 Things You Should Never Do When the Stock Market Tanks. And oh my gosh, this absolutely applies perfectly to XRP. And just investing in crypto. Number 1, don't panic sell. All right, volatility happens. James C. Kelly, a wealth strategist at PNC Bank, tells CNBC, make it. To lessen the impact of any potential loss, this could be an opportunity to rebalance your portfolio, including a mix of stocks, bonds, and other securities. You can also consider buying more stocks while prices are low. And so it's a little bit different only for crypto in the sense that people don't know what the hell they're doing by and large when they're investing in crypto. It's all just a lot of it simply still seems to me just like pure gambling. But still, just the concept of that, I'm not panic selling. Number 2, don't watch obsessively. I think that kind of speaks for itself. And number 3, don't be short-sighted. Many investors can feel overwhelmed by market volatility. A 2017 survey by Ali Invest found that only 1 in 3 millennials is investing in the stock market because they find it scary or intimidating. And a 2018 Gallup poll found that less than half of young Americans are putting their money in stocks because of the 2008 market crash. Now, that's interesting in and of itself, but understand that there are even fewer humans in this brand new asset class. I say brand new, it's been around a decade, fine, but there's like almost nobody investing in this, and it does have staying power. It will be here forever. What do you think is ultimately going to happen? So it's just like find the coins with utility. Now, this is something I talked about at the beginning of the video, and you're going to find this fascinating. So take a look if you can. If you're driving, I'm sorry, I'll just do my best to describe. This is an XRP price chart dating back to the beginning of time. So what's the first date? It's like beginning of 2013 or end of 20... well, actually, this chart for some reason only goes back to August of 2013. Technically, it was around since I thought it was either late 2012 or the beginning of 2013, but it doesn't really matter for the purpose of this. So, again, that goes from that period, August 2013, all the way to today. And you can see here's the massive run-up in price. Got up to almost $4, XRP, almost $4 in January of 2018 here. And here's what I wanted to show you. You can see the price has just come back down. A lot of volatility if you're looking at the chart here. Let me go back here to just if you're looking at the screen, look at what I'm circling right here. See this? See, look at that. I'll get the mouse away so you can see it now. After I just finished, see, this is what I'm talking about. This tiny, tiny, tiny little baby boo bump right here. You want to know what that looked like if you were living through it? That's what I want to show you. I pulled up a chart. Check out, and I'll tell you the time frame of it. This is it right here. Okay. So it starts at beginning of October 2013, and it ended. I just had to arbitrarily choose a timeline that included this huge jump in price, February of 2014. So you can see to this point, XRP, and you can pick any point here. It's under a penny, 0.8 of a penny, 0.9 of a penny. Down here, I think it was what is this? I think I got down to like half a penny or so. I think I saw half a penny. So yeah, I did. So about half a penny here in November of 2013. And then it rallied up to, what's this, 6 cents? Over 6 cents. That's a 12 times gain, okay? And this, so it looks like a massive spike up, right? And then you can see that it ultimately went back down. And this doesn't show just how low it got. In fact, it got lower than it did prior to the pump at all. And this is just purely human speculating. It got down to, I saw in the side of the month or so after that, and it's not on this chart because I didn't want to zoom too far out, but it got down to like 0.3 of a penny. That's below what it was before this huge pump even. And this is with fewer human actors. It's just interesting to think that as massive as that run up looked on the chart from, about half a penny all the way up to 6 cents, that you zoom out on a chart, which is what is done here. That's the one I got on the screen now, where you can see this huge run up in 2017 and an ultimate decline in 2018. So what I wanted to point out, so as big as a spike as that one looked, from half a penny of XRP all the way up to 6 cents, that's what I believe this is going to look like one day. If you could fast forward, I don't know if it'd be another 5 or 10 years or whatever, hopefully not that long, right? But I'm just saying, at some point, as massive a spike as this looks on the screen right now, eventually it's going to look like a tiny blip that's not even noticeable, which is the case with the one that I'm circling back here from 2014. And so I just wanted to kind of run through that just to kind of add some perspective. And I've stated stuff like this on the channel in the past, but I just wanted to give you a visual. And I think it makes a stronger impression, right? When you can actually see that. So, but that's also why I wanted to say that from my perspective, given that we don't know what the timing of all of this is going to be, to me, it just makes all the sense in the world to just hold and not waver if this is something that you believe in. That's not me telling you what to do. Again, I want to be clear. I'm not telling you, I'm not offering advice, period. But I'm just saying if that's something that you believe in, which is certainly the case for me, I want to make sure I have exposure. It's also the reason that I'm happy to keep buying XRP on a regular basis, though. So just my opinion there, my 2 cents. All right, here's a tweet from XRP Euphoria, who wrote this. My buddy is ready to buy his first XRP. He asked me why I was reluctant initially to tell him about the opportunity. I said I didn't want to encourage an investment that could retrace 90% in a year. His response, yeah, but you only lose that if you sell. Dude's already a pro. Now, I like that. That's something I can relate to. Actually, I need to hit the heart on that one. Yeah, I need to like that. It's definitely true. But I'll tell you, there's a reason. So in the past, when I was first learning about XRP, I did tell some people about it, and I was still learning. I never told anybody that they should or shouldn't buy it, which is still the case today. But even in like my close personal friends, I told them what's happening, and I told them what I was doing. And some people did ultimately jump in, and I doubt that any of them have continued to because the average person wouldn't, not to this degree anyway, but I doubt any of them continued to research Ripple or learn more about that in XRP after the bust went away. Most of the crowd went away, a lot, and just a lot of people did lose money. And so those people that did that, I'm sure there are other people that were kind of in that boat too a couple years ago, or maybe you're talking to people, maybe some people were influenced by and so those people that found out about Ripple and XRP because of me and my close circle before I even launched this channel, I don't know. I haven't really talked to them about it. Not many of them afterwards. Some of them were kind of like, because some people just put in a little bit of money. And I was very clear that, look, I don't know where this is going. I'd been at that point in crypto less than 2 months, a month and a half, whatever it was. And I was like, I'm just learning about this. So I said, if you want to invest, go ahead, but I can't promise you anything, to be clear. And so I can understand why anybody would have reluctance today to start even talking to anybody about this. But that's why anytime you do, you just like, if you're like me, you don't want to tell them to invest or not to invest or to hold whatever, if they have something now, whatever it is. I definitely don't have interest in doing that because I don't want to be responsible for somebody else's investment. But on the flip side, I think that I found something here, and that's why I'm happy to run this channel. To me, it just makes a ton of sense, and I want to share my sentiment. And if you agree with me, great. And if you don't, that's fine too. I like diversity of thought. But to anybody else, I'm sure some of you listening, this has got to be resonating with some of you. It's like, because then when you do tell some people, some of them on top of that, they might even think that you're just nutty because They just don't get it, especially if they've done no research. The idea of you could be into a cryptocurrency. That's the initial response a lot of people have, but because I didn't realize what I was getting into before I researched it, but then I was like, oh my god, there's actually something to this, and it's going to be here forever for so many reasons. But anyway, so having read that tweet there, I could definitely appreciate, especially at the end, as he said, but you only lose that if you sell. And so it's also true that even if you bought in kind of high, as long as XRP goes back up, and really any time over the history of crypto period, it's especially if you look at Bitcoin, which has an even longer track record, anytime there's been a massive crash, even if you had bought it at the top right before the crash happened, you still would have been better off if you had just held rather than sold. That's just historical data. Again, not me telling you what to do, but historically that has absolutely been true. Here's a fun tweet, just for the hell of it. This is from David Schwartz, unrelated to Ripple or XRP, but it's from David Schwartz, who created XRP, so I'm sharing it with you. And he tweeted this out. I'm in the beef capital of the world where a street market butcher's display looks like this. And I have to say, if this is a street market butcher's display, that's looking pretty freaking solid. And look at these well-marbled meats. How do I get me some of that? Good stuff there. So anyway, it's purely shared it because it's David Schwartz. That's it. I like the guy. All right, last piece in this article. Tom Leaf, like FANG stocks, Bitcoin will hit $25,000 due to network value. Fundstrat's Tom Lee believes Bitcoin will accrue price value following a similar logic to the Silicon Valley tech titans. During an interview for CNBC's Street Signs Asia on November 15th, Lee argued that cryptocurrencies are network value assets and share this with the world's most successful tech stocks. I want to say, on the surface, that is a very reasonable point of view. The network value, and that's why, when a lot of people don't get why Bitcoin is, or let me state this. Usually they're talking about Bitcoin, that's why I said that. But when they don't understand why cryptocurrencies will be here forever, it's because they're using the wrong valuation model typically, and the network effects indeed are a real thing. I would also argue it's more than that, though, because the case that I always make is that if businesses need it to conduct their business models, there you go. That's one use case right there, especially as it pertains to XRP and being utilized as a bridge currency for moving money around the world. Anyway, Lee, a renowned words are hard. Lee, a renowned Bitcoin bull, co-founder and Wall Street strategist at Fundstrat Global Advisors, made his argument when asked about the logic behind Fundstrat's $25,000 by 2022 forecast for Bitcoin. Noting that the number was set in 2017 as part of a 5-year forecast for the asset, he said he still thinks it's quite easy to achieve. And here's a quote. Cryptocurrencies are network value assets, meaning the more people hold the asset, the greater the value. In fact, it's a log function. So if you double the users hold it, they mean probably using the number of, you get a quadrupling of value. To go to $25,000, you essentially need a little less than a 4 times rise, which means you need to double the number of people who hold Bitcoin. So there you go. Lee said that Fundstrat estimates that roughly 500,000 people own and use Bitcoin, so that you would need to hit 1 million users to get a $25,000 valuation. So there you go. But that's it for this video. I better wrap up before this goes any longer. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. And you can tell me if you agree or disagree or got any additional thoughts below. I love hearing from y'all. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything, because of anything that I say or write, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!